All right, guys. We are going to get started. Okay, so welcome everyone to our call tonight. I would like to introduce our guest speaker, who is Patrick Riehlman, that we met back in, Patrick will probably tell you because I don't even remember. He remembers more than we did. But I remember being up on stage at Super Saturday, and he was out there sitting there just taking it all in. And it's amazing where Patrick started, which was in Boston with us, and where he is. And so you can share a little bit of about that, Patrick. But
I won't be taking everywhere with me.
Pat, if you guys could please mute your line, that would be great. Bottom left corner. So Patrick is a two-time elite coach. Is that right, Patrick? You and I both the same years, 2013 and 14, was it?
Yep.
Okay. And are you already there this year?
Yep.
Wow, that is awesome. Nice job. And 34 consecutive months in Success Club. And Patrick is a 5-star in his first business center, a 3-star in his second business center. And I didn't realize you had your third business center, and that is already at Diamond. So that is amazing. And he's a multiple 6-figure income earner. So I would suggest that you guys turn the TV off. I would suggest that you get off Facebook right now, shut it off completely from your computer, and do not get distracted. Because once I see likes, because I have mine open and I'm going to keep it open and I'm going to monitor you guys. If I see you guys posting in challenge groups, I'm not going to be happy. It's rude, and we are lucky to have Patrick here, so I want your focus to be on this handsome boy. Yes, this handsome boy up in the corner here. So, Patrick, I'm going to let you go ahead and take it away.
Man, you're tough. I like it. It's that Boston, you know? Boston strong.
Woo-hoo!
So, I'm sure you guys have heard people say over and over that consistency is the key to this business, right? So I believe that. I know that's true. I've seen that happen over the last 5 years. But I always try to figure out how come some coaches stay consistent and some don't. And there's 2 things I found that the coaches that stay consistent have in common versus the ones that struggle a little bit with that. The first is the why. So when I get on a call with a new coach or any coach in general, even if it's a veteran coach, the first thing I do is I ask them what their why is. And I want to make sure that they have 2 parts to their why. Because I'm sure, like, how many of you on this call, when you first became a coach, when someone asked you what your why was, it was, I want to help people, and that's all it was. You can raise your hand. And then how many of you maybe has it changed a little bit? I mean, that's still huge. That's still a part of it, but there's some more to it now, right? I want my coaches to be okay and know that they have to have part of their why be personal to them and their family and their family's future. If you don't have that part of your why, you're not going to show up on the days that you don't feel like it. You're not going to make time on the days you don't have time. You got to have a genuine love for helping people. That's got to be part of your why, but you got to have other parts to your why that get you to show up on the days you don't feel like helping people. Because you're going to have a lot of days where you just have a bad day and you don't want to get on the computer and help people. You got to have that part of the why that forces you to do that, right? So what I do is I have my coaches create a why list. We call it our why list. It's not just a why, it's a why list. And it's a piece of paper with everything written down, and it's put somewhere that you see it every day, and I make my coaches send me a photo of that, of the why list. I need to see that they have that up there. Because most coaches, when I ask them what their why is, that's the only time they ever think about it. And they say something that sounds cool, but they don't really believe in that why. They need to have that stuff written down. And I want everything. Like, I want the little stuff, like being able to afford the softer, more expensive toilet paper. That's part of your why, right? All the way up to the big stuff, the financial freedom and everything in between. And leave space at the bottom to add stuff to it. we got to get out of the mindset of thinking when you see someone doing something that you want to do, or you see something you want to give to your kids, instead of saying, oh, that'd be cool, but I just don't have the money or time, and then you forget about it, add it to your list. Get rid of that mindset. It would be cool. Add that to your list. Let it fuel you. Got to have that why fuel. That's what's going to get you to show up every day, right? So that's the first part, that why and that why list, and having a bunch of different things on that, and you're always adding to it. The second part, right? So like, let's say, you got this strong why, you're constantly adding to your why list. You're looking at it every day. It's fueling you every day, but you don't really believe that the things that Beachbody is telling you to do every day are actually going to help you achieve those things on your why list. You're probably not going to show up and do those things. So there's got to be another part, the second part, and that's the belief. The belief that the things we're telling you to do every day aren't just things we're telling you to do every day. The things that are actually going to help you start to cross off every little thing on the list, all the way up to the big ones. So the way I help my coaches with their belief is, I'm a big picture guy. When I came into this business, I needed to know, like, what's the big picture? What am I shooting for? Why am I doing these invites? Why am I doing, we used to call them 2 exposures a day. Why am I exposing myself to people 2 exposures a day, or inviting, right? So everything on that why list, all the way up to the financial freedom, if you can find a handful of people that are as excited about this opportunity as you are, that believe in this opportunity as much as you do, that are all in as much as you are, and are running with you on this thing, and you develop 2 or 3, maybe 5 at the most, leaders that really want to do this with you, personally sponsored or not, that are in your downline. If you can find those 2 or 3 people that really are all in, and you run with them, you're going to hit every single thing on that why list, all the way up to the financial freedom, 6-figure income. I think a lot of coaches think that the key to the business is to sell a ton of stuff. Then they get smarter and they realize, okay, it's more about, I got to find some people that want to do this with me. I got to sign a ton of coaches. So they sign a coach, and then they're excited. They're like, oh, I got a new coach. And then they go off and try to sign another one. And they forget that the secret to this business is developing leaders. When someone comes to me and says, I want to impact the most amount of lives I can, or someone comes to me and says, I want to create a 6-figure income with a business, my answer to those 2 questions is the same thing. Develop leaders, 2 or 3 good ones. That's all it takes, right? And so that's the big picture. I needed to know that. And so we got your why, and then the belief comes in. But for me, it was more than a belief. It wasn't like, I believe I'm eventually going to find a couple of people that really want to do this with me. I knew it. I didn't care who it was going to be. I was hoping my family would want to do it. But I had to find other people that wanted to do it first. And my family had to start to see me have success. My sister, who's like a 5-star, probably going to be an elite coach this year, Amy Riehlman, she didn't want to do this business until I was already making a 6-figure income and was able to quit my accounting job. Like, I couldn't rely on, even though I knew she'd be great, I couldn't sit there and say, she's going to be what's going to make me successful. It was like, listen, I'm going to do this. I hope you want to do this with me. If you don't, I'm still going to do it without you. And that was kind of the mentality I had. And people didn't want to get left behind. They knew that they were either going to join me and have success with me, or they were going to just kind of watch. And that's kind of the mentality you got to have with this thing. So kind of reverse engineering that back to the vital behaviors. That's the big picture. Where are you going to find those kind of people? I'm telling you, the kind of people that you want to really do this business with you, they're the kind of people that are going to have to watch you do this business for 6 months to 12 months or longer. They're going to have to watch you for almost a year probably for them to understand that this is the real deal and that you're serious about this. And the best way for you to prove that to them is to share your journey on social media consistently. And then if you do that and you share your journey consistently for 6 to 12 months, those people that you want, they're going to get on board because they know you're serious at that point. And then it's going to take those people 6 to 12 months to get their traction and get this thing going. This is like a 12 to 24 month business model before you really start to see the results. And if you stick around long enough for that to happen, man, is it fun. But you got to stick around for that. And that's like, I'm sure a lot of you guys, you watched coaches, the coach you signed up with, you probably watched them for a while. Maybe some of you jumped right in because of a friend, but most coaches, for me, like I had to watch for a while before I jumped into this thing. And then, you know, when new coaches, they watch someone for a while and then they finally become a coach, they like expect everyone's going to like jump on board with them, and they forget that they had to watch for a full year before they were ready. That's how this business works, right? And you just got to, in the back of your mind, remember that it just comes down to finding those 2 or 3 rock stars that want to do this with you. And that's probably going to take 12 to 24 months for them to get on board and get their traction. It's just how it works. All right, so where are you going to find those kind of people? Obviously, you got to be consistent. You know, they got to watch you for a while. It's how it works. But then, like, when I'm talking to people about my challenge groups, they know that I could give 2 shits about $50 commission. I don't want their money. I don't even care if they buy it from me or get it from a friend or burn it or get it on Amazon. I just want them to get into one of my 21-day challenges or a challenge group, and I'm going to give them a kick-ass experience. I'm going to get them to interact with the other people. I'm going to be texting them. I'm going to be supporting them, encouraging them every step of the way. Your job is not to hit Success Club. Your job is not to sell challenge packs. That's when your job starts. That's when you roll up your sleeves and you get to work and you give your people an amazing experience. If you do that, if that's what you fall in love with, more people are going to want to buy challenge packs and get into your groups. More of the people in your groups are going to have such a great experience that they're going to want to give it to others and become a coach. And when they do become a coach, they're going to be so excited about the experience you gave them and the products that it's going to be easier for them to get people to join their challenge groups. And they're going to give the same experience to their clients that you gave to them. So the better experience you gave them, the better experience they're going to give to their people, the better coach they're going to be. So that's kind of what I think the foundation of the business is not worrying about yes, you want to hit Success Club. Yes, you know, the commission's nice from Success Club. But that's the hurdle you got to get over for the real work to come in. That's where the foundation's laid. That's where you're going to find people that eventually are going to want to do this thing with you. And that's where you're going to find and develop those 2 or 3 or 5 leaders that we talked about. All right. So that's the why and the belief. We talked about the 12 to 24 months thing. I'm a visual learner. So one of the ways I like to explain how this business works is, has anyone ever tried to like run at like the mall or something, run up an escalator that's going down? It's kind of fun. It's, you know, my mom used to yell at me when I was a kid, but that's how this business works. The first 12 months of this business, you're running so fast and you're so excited, but your business isn't going as fast as you want it to go because you're running uphill and it's going down. It's just how this business works. And what happens when you're running full speed uphill and it's going down, but you're not really moving? You get discouraged. You're like, how come I'm not going anywhere? What is this? And then you stop. You stop inviting, stop posting on social media, stop sharing your journey, stop doing personal development. And what happens when you stop on an escalator that's going down? You go down and your business goes backwards. And everybody that was watching you, and I told you it takes 6 to 12 months of people watching you before they get on board. They were watching to see if you took this thing serious. And now what? They saw you stop. And now they're not going to get on board. And if you had coaches that were doing this with you, they saw that too. And they're like, where are you going? And then they stop and then they go back down. I did this to myself over and over again for a while, for a few years, until I got so pissed at myself because I saw other coaches get on the escalator, suck it up, stay consistent for 12 months, 18 months, and they got to the top of that escalator. They had a couple leaders that wanted to do this with them that were getting their traction, and their business exploded because they were on flat ground running full speed. And it pissed me off so much that I was like, if I'm getting back on this escalator, and I am not getting off this thing until I find 2 or 3 people that want to do this with me until I get to the top of this thing. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care who I've got to talk to. I'm not getting off this escalator. No way. And the pain of getting on that escalator and being consistent and not really, my business wasn't going as fast as I thought it should. Yeah, that was a pain in the ass, but not as painful as the regret of me watching all these other people stay on it and crush the business. Like Chris and Mike, they were two of the people that I was watching. I saw them climb this escalator, and I stopped, and I went to the bottom, and I watched them keep going, and it pissed me off. So thanks for the motivation. And Bob Lucido and Keith Callahan and Nicole Jones. I was in Boston. I was lucky enough to be in Boston, and I would watch these guys do this, and I wasn't. But I got back on. This is kind of how it works. So when I told my coaches, like, you got to learn to love your no's. Get your no's. When you get a no from someone, you've planted a seed and you've put them on notice. And now they are going to watch. They will not like anything you post. They will not comment on anything you post, but they are watching. Trust me. I get people now that will message me and say, hey, I'm finally ready for one of your 21-day challenges. I've been watching you for a year, and I think to myself, this person has never liked or commented on anything, but they've been watching. It's just how it works. So get your no's. You've planted your seeds, and now you got to stay consistent with sharing your journey, and you got to stay on that escalator and just understand that's how this thing works. And that's how you're going to eventually get those 2 or 3 people that want to do this on board, and then get them in that same mindset. That's how you're going to get traction in this business. That's the secret to it. But that's my talk on how to and that's how I try to get my coaches to have a long-term mindset. I get my coaches to come in. I have, realistic expectations that it's going to be slow. You're going to be running up an escalator that's going down for the first year. That's how this business works. Don't expect to get 1 million yeses 100% of the time. And I tell them that no's are good, because they are, because you're putting people on notice, and now they're watching. And now your end of the bargain is to show up consistently every day for a year. That's how once you've planted the seeds with a no, show up every day. Stay on the escalator for a year. Be consistent for a year. That's how you turn those seeds into a harvest. Hope that helps. Long-term mindset. All right, who's getting back on the escalator now? Who's not getting off till they get to the top, till you find those 2 or 3 people that want to get on the escalator and go to the top with you? Yeah, a lot of hands. I like it. Cool. So I don't know. Yeah.
Why don't you, that was awesome. And, there are a lot of people that are on this call right now that you were talking to. I saw some big smiles and shot some people some looks, because we had the same conversation today. And I hear it over and over again when I have calls with coaches, that they get so frustrated that they're putting in all this work, they're doing all this time, and they're getting nowhere. And how can I try to get coaches on board when I'm not getting anywhere? And exactly what you said. I mean, it's an uphill battle for a long time, but there are people that are going to be willing to do it, and there are people that are not. And you guys know, I mean, this is, if you do it, it will happen, but you've got to stick with it. And, the hard thing is those discouragements and those no's, and that's when people give up. And exactly what Patrick said, they're watching you. Can everyone make sure they're muted? I hear background noise. Can you guys please mute? And they're watching. So when you fall off, that people see that and they think, well, this is some fluke thing that they keep talking about. There they go. They're all gung-ho about this business. And then all of a sudden they back off and, they're not doing it anymore. And people do watch that. And so
you got to replant those seeds.
Say it again.
Once you've planted the seed, and you got on the escalator and you've started to be consistent, and if you stop, you go back down that escalator, and all those seeds you planted, they're dead. Those people that you were watching, they're like, all right, it's not real.
Yeah, that fire's burned out. They see the fire, and then all of a sudden it's kind of dwindling. And so then how can they be excited about it? Same thing with challenge groups. When you start challenge groups, everybody's all gung-ho and excited about it. And if you as a coach is not posting in that group, how can you expect your customers to do it? How can you expect them to believe that this is going to be working if you're not involved in doing it yourselves? And we've heard this when we started. Be here a year from now, I think, is the biggest thing. So, Patrick, why don't you tell them a little bit about, I just love your family story, and, it's crazy. But you guys just remember, I'm telling you, someday Patrick's going to be on the National Wake Up Call, and they're all a bunch of rock stars. So go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, I was living in Boston at the time. I had two of my buddies that I played lacrosse with in college, became coaches, and they were like, and I had done P90X and really liked it because I was trying to like make it I was trying to do a tryout for like a professional lacrosse team, and I needed to get back in shape. So I bought P90X. And yeah, there is a professional lacrosse league. I don't think many people know that. There's actually the team in Boston's pretty good. So I had done P90X. I really liked it. And my buddies knew that I had done it, and they approached me about coaching. And I said, nah, like I'm a CPA. I had an accounting job at the time. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. You guys doing your coaching stuff, but I got a real job and a real career. And, go do your thing. I'll root you on. And they kind of, they planted the seed. And now I was going to watch, They had at least, I said no, but they had asked me and put me on notice. So now I knew what they were doing because they had told me, even though I said no, and I watched them. And I saw them have some pretty good success with it. They were doing pretty well. And I kind of was more interested. And then all of a sudden, like my busy season in accounting started to slow down, and things got slow at work. And they, approached me again. And at that time, they caught me in the right mood. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. Let's do it. So I signed up. And they got lucky. No, it was good. They planted the seed, and I watched. And then they, followed up 6 months later. And so I did it. And I didn't really, know what I was doing. I had no clue, zero clue. I wouldn't even get on team calls. I was like afraid they would ask me to like introduce myself. I was afraid I'd forget my name or something. And I was like, I don't want to do that. But they were like, just get to Emerald. And, then you can maybe start to get some customer leads. I was like, all right, well, I'll get my mom to sign up. And so I signed my mom up, and she signed up. She actually she was excited about it. She wanted to do it. And then I got my sister to sign up just for the discount. She didn't want anything to do with the business. So I got to Emerald, and then I invited all of my Facebook friends. I sent them all this really long impersonal thing that was like why they should order these programs and the products and why they should become a coach, and I'm going to be a millionaire and all this ridiculous stuff. And I come across that message from time to time, and it makes me laugh. It's so horrible. But I had at the time, like I said, 100 Facebook friends. Nobody responded. I think one person responded and said, no thanks or something. And so I was like, oh, well, this thing didn't work. And I kind of just stopped. And I just didn't really do anything with it, and I was getting the products at a discount, and I was doing the workout programs. I wasn't paying my gym membership because I stopped going to the gym because I was doing the workouts. And so I just kind of didn't do much with it, honestly, until like in 2010 was like a game plan event in Boston, and Carl Deichler came to Boston. And I remember my buddies were coming from Rochester, driving from Rochester, New York. I think it's like 6 hours to Boston to go to this event. And they were like, you got to come, man. You got to be like, the CEO is going to be there. And I was like, I tried it, man. I invited everybody I know, and no one was interested. It's not my thing. I'm fine being a discount coach, and I like the workouts, but they're like, come on, just come to the event. It'll be fun. And I was like, all right, maybe if I'm not hungover Saturday morning, I'll come to the event. We'll see. We'll see how Friday night goes. So, I was like kind of feeling all right. I didn't go out too hard that Friday night. So I showed up to the event Saturday just to kind of see my buddies and sit in the crowd and listen. And I was kind of blown away, to be honest. I listened to Larry Zimberg at the time. I don't know if you guys know him. He was pretty impressive. Carl Deichler was very impressive. I mean, he's my favorite person to listen to still to this day. I never miss any chance to listen to him. I listened to Christine Dwyer talk a little bit. It was just a really cool thing. It was the first time I had been like exposed to that kind of environment. They were selling the Slight Edge at the event. They're selling How to Build Your Network Marketing Business, which is an audio by Jim Rohn. The Slight Edge, still my favorite book to this day, by far. I bought the book. I bought the CD, and I was inspired, and I was excited. I was fired up. And I went to Summit and I was excited again after that. But I got off the escalator for whatever. I got back to my life got in the way with work and everything, and it sucked. And I watched like those people that I met at the event. I don't know if you guys know Bob Lucido, but I met him at the 2010 game plan event. He was an Emerald coach. I was an Emerald coach. Bob was an Emerald coach when I met him, right? Mike, Chris, like I went, and then in 2011, after me kind of like burning out because I was just an idiot, I went to an event in 2011. I think it was like April 2011, Super Saturday. And Bob, the guy I had met a year before who was an Emerald, stood up in front and said, "Hey, I'm Bob Lucido. I'm an attorney. I used to be an attorney. I left my job. I now make a 6-figure income with Beachbody." And I was just like, what the heck? I looked at the person next to me and I said, "I'm going to make a 6-figure income with this business. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to grow a ponytail." I remember saying that. Like that was my goal. And, then I kind of was in and out with the thing. And I made it to 2-star diamond because my mom was a diamond. And one of my customer leads that I really helped, I worked with him. He lost a lot of weight. He became a coach on my other leg, and I got to 2-star, and I showed up. I got to go to leadership in 2012. And I was actually a Ruby at the time because I like had dropped back. I wasn't really doing well. That was like it for me. I went to that leadership in 2012. I hung out with, I don't know if you guys know Craig Smith. He's from the Boston area. I got to meet him and hang out with him, talked with a lot of these coaches that were killing this thing that started after me, and it just kind of pissed me off. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm getting back on this escalator. This was like end of 2012, and I'm not getting off this thing. That's just how it's going to be. And that was like right at the end of 2012. And by the end, a year later, I was able to quit my job, had the 6-figure income, and was traveling and that's when finally my sister decided to do it. You know, she was like, "All right, let's go." But it took her a long time watching. But kind of in that year where I was doing okay at 2-star to a year later where I was able to kind of quit was when I really committed to not getting off the escalator and showing up every single day. And the coaches that were already on the team, which was like 3, maybe, there was like 4 of us, they saw that, and it was speed of the leader, speed of the pack. You know, they didn't want to get left behind, and they stepped it up. And all those people that had been watching, thinking about it, they got on board. You know, everybody took it to the next level. But I had to make that decision that I was going to go all in, and I wasn't going to stop. I was going to be consistent no matter what, no matter how long it took. I kind of looked at it this way. My life's busy enough. I have a full plate, right? This Beachbody I'm adding one more thing to my plate. I'm making my busy life already busier, right? The other option, and I got to do that for a year or 2 before this thing really pays off. That's one option. The other option, don't add one more thing to my plate. Don't make my life busier, but be in the exact same place I was in 2 years from then. And that to me was scarier than adding one more thing to my plate. Way scarier. Because I saw the life that I could have and the freedom I could have because of the people I had surrounded myself with and watched them do it. And I got to know them on a personal level, got to talk to them, and they weren't any different than me. They just showed up every day, and they were consistent with sharing the journey, and people got to watch them for a full year and got on board, and that's what it took. And I was like, I can do that too. So let's do it. And now, you know, my family, like they all got on board too. Like they saw that. They saw this thing was real. And, you know, one of my sisters, I think is like a 3 or 4-star, probably going to be elite this year. She quit her job, stays home with her 2 boys. This is her full-time income. She's killing it. My mom is killing it. She's, you know, traveling the world with my dad. And my other sister, she's 26. She quit her job. This is her full-time income. She's 5-star, going to be elite, I think. But, you know, they had to watch me. You know, they had to watch, you know, some of them. They had to see that I was serious about this. And that's what your family and your friends and everybody around you and everyone's following you on social media, they got to watch you for a while. They got to see if this is the real deal before they get on board. But eventually they will. You know, but you got to have that long-term mindset. And the last thing I'll say is, I was talking about this the other day, like some people say, don't treat it like a hobby, treat it like a business. You know, I don't think a lot of people understand what a business is because they've never been a business owner. I didn't really understand what that, I never had owned a business. So what I had to do was, and I didn't treat it like a business. I started to treat it like a job. When you have a job, you have to show up at a certain time. You have to do what they tell you to do, and you can leave when they tell you you can leave. And this business, I treat this like a job. You know, I tell myself, this is when I got to show up, and I show up. And I do the work I need to do, and I can't leave until I do it. You know, that's what I had to do when I was working my full-time job. I had to make this my second job. I couldn't make this a business. I couldn't treat it like a business. I had to treat it like a job. I had to make set business hours, and I had to show up to those set business hours just like a job, or I would get fired like a normal job. You know, that's just how it worked. I had to get myself in that mindset. And every night before bed, I'd make a to-do list of what I was going to do during those business hours, with the most important things first that I hated to do most. I would put that at the top. And I'd show up to my second job as an employee almost. And I'd show up when I said I had to show up, just like a job. Like, you guys all have jobs probably, right? Like you like schedule everything else around your job. You schedule like everything around that job, because your job, you have to be there or you get fired. That's what I did with this. I made it my job. Even if it was an hour, I scheduled everything else around that hour, just like it was a job, you know? But you're not going to do those things. You're not going to put in that effort and show up for the job and do all the things you need to do unless you have that why fuel that's fueling you every day, and you're looking at it, seeing it every day, and you have that belief that this is just a matter of time. It's not like when, it's going to happen, and it's inevitable is what I always say. This thing is inevitable. It's inevitable you're going to find those 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 rock stars that want to do this with you if you stay consistent and show up long enough. It's just inevitable. So that's all I got.
Pat, you're awesome.
Awesome job, dude.
That's great.
Hey, Pat, maybe you could share with the group, like when you say you give them an experience in your challenge groups, like what are you doing to do that? Like, what are a couple tips that you could do for people that when we run our challenge groups? What do you do?
If you're like dancing and taking clothes off, there's limit.
Well,
I can't do that.
Mike's already tried that, so it doesn't
work. Scared people away.
I still haven't done size yet. Shame on me. So one of the things I'll do, like I always start my challenges. I'm like a big 21-day fix. Like that's my program I focus on. Like, people struggle with food more than anything, and no program dials in people's nutrition better than 21-day fix. It's not intimidating. It's only 3 weeks, right? I love it. That's like my go-to. So I do 21-day challenges. I try to do one every month, at least one a month. They always start on a Monday. And my deadline for people to order is always 10 days before on a Friday. So it gives me like a set deadline of when people need to order by. And it keeps me focused on that date. And it also helps my prospects make a decision, because they have a set date. They can't just waffle anymore. It's like, listen, hey, I got a group of people moving forward with this thing. The deadline to order is this Friday, whatever the date is. In, you're out. What's it going to be, right? So they got to make a decision. That's the first thing I do. And then so the deadline's a Friday. Then we got 10 days before it actually starts. So we got like a prep week. So I get everybody in my group a week before. And every day for those 7 days, I ask a question. And I have like a spreadsheet, a little Google Doc that has like the questions I ask. I can share with you guys, but I just post it in the group, and it's little fun things, like, so people, and also like what I do is I start a group text with the people that are in that challenge group, and I do little voice texts. And one of them is like on the day one of the prep week, like the Monday a week before it actually starts, I'll say something like, hey guys, like the people that get out of their comfort zone and interact and encourage the other members are the ones that have the best experience and the best results. So have some fun with this thing. Send each other friend requests. Get out of your comfort zone. I'm going to post some fun questions for you guys to get to know each other. Let's have fun this week before it really starts, right? So I post a question every day so they get to know each other. I kind of, that group text kind of gets them to friend request each other. They start to interact and have some fun and get out of their comfort zone in that prep week. Stuff like the other thing I do, you know, I'll do another group text and I'll voice text and I'll say, hey guys, just want to make sure, you know, I'll do this probably on like Thursday of the prep week. Hey guys, just want to make sure you guys got your challenge packs by now. If you have, set aside 30 minutes to read through everything, look at the booklet. Most important thing, look at the formula that's going to tell you how many of each color container you need each day. And then send a text back to let us know once you've done that. And also the calendar. Make sure you look at the calendar. I'll do another text on like the Thursday or Friday of the prep week and say, all right, go through your cupboards, throw out everything in your fridge and everything in your cupboards that isn't on the 21-day fixed meal plan. Get it out of the house, you know, because you're going to have days that are going to be tough and you're going to reach for that stuff. So just throw it out. You know, I try to get them to go to the grocery store the weekend before it starts so they can and do some meal prepping before it starts. When Monday starts, yeah, throw that stuff out, Chris.
Yes.
When that Monday starts, like when day one starts, I want them to like be like hitting the road running, right? Like all their questions answered. They know what containers they need. They've thrown out all the crap. They're already starting to interact with each other. They know what the calendar looks like. They know what workouts they're doing each day. They're ready to rock. You know, that's what I'm doing in that prep week. What else? And then like in the group, I can also send you what I post each day, but every day it's once it actually starts after the prep week, I still post a question each day. And this is in the spreadsheet that I can give you guys. I post a video each day. And it rotates between a video about Shakeology. I had a Darren O'Lean on one of my team calls, and I asked him a bunch of questions, and I broke that down into small YouTube videos, one for each question I asked them and his answers. You know, I want my challenge group members to not like just feel great because of Shakeology. I want them to be educated on why they feel great. I want them to know about the food that's in Shakeology and what that does for every system in their body. So they feel it and they understand why. Because I want them to stick on this stuff well beyond 21 days.
So do you make that mandatory that they have to be on the shake to get in your group?
Yeah, for the most part. Like once in a while I'll let someone in that's not on Shakeology. And then that person usually ends up getting Shakeology after the first week because they see everyone talking about it. But I make exceptions. Not all the time, but if it's someone I really want to work with and that's just kind of the hurdle they need to get over, I'll do that.
Do you use the guides in the back? Or do you use the challenge group guides at all?
No.
Okay.
I just have my own little Google spreadsheet that I use.
That you'll share with us.
I'll share with you. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's got everything on there.
You're awesome. So can I ask, like, once you're done with that group, do you put them into a general group to keep them going, or like so they do another round, or like how do you do that?
So like I got the 5-step invite process that I use, and that's what I use to kind of take people through, inviting them, going through their goals, talking to them about how much a challenge pack costs, what's in the challenge pack, all that stuff. I can give you that. It's not like it's similar to Beachbody. I kind of put my own spin on it. I can share that with you guys. And then the second thing I use is kind of like a 5-step, how I explain to my challengers that, have bought a challenge pack, how to get the discount on Shakeology. And so I around the second week of the 21-day challenge, I start going through that little step-by-step with them. That explains like the discount they can get. They're going to save $200 a year on Shakeology as a discount coach versus at retail, that kind of stuff.
And you post that directly right in the group?
No, that's one-on-one.
Okay, one-on-one. All right.
And if it's someone that's like really like positive in the group and encouraging the other members and, someone I think would make a great coach, I go through that discount thing first. And I'll say, hey, this is part of the step. It'll say like, you get the discount, but as a discount coach, but you don't have to coach anybody unless you want to know a little bit more about it. I'm happy to share with you. And I'll say like, I think you'd actually be really great at it, but you don't have to do it if you don't want, but if you want, I'd love to, tell you a little bit about it. And they're like, yeah, maybe that sounds good. I'd love to hear about it. And I might, I'll send them, I have a little on my YouTube, a little 3-minute video that kind of explains what is a Beachbody coach. I don't know if you guys want it. You could like see that on there. I would recommend, like, if you go to my YouTube, it's just Patrick Riehlman, and you look up what is a Beachbody coach, you could watch that. But I would recommend like making your own, kind of just explaining that. That's kind of the first video I send to people that are interested in hearing a little bit more about it.
Patrick, the video you did, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, the one that it's like a 3-minute video you did, just basically explaining what you do every month, looking for 5 people. I thought that was just genius. I mean, you got right down to the point. It was 3 minutes, boom. It wasn't like too long, but it was perfect.
Yeah.
What kind of response did you get from that? Was that effective or not?
That's the one I use. I use that all the time. It's on my YouTube. It's called What is a Beachbody Coach?
Okay, that's the one. All right, so that's the one I
posted it. I think, probably 6 months ago, I posted it on my Facebook. Got a really good response from that. But then, I made it a YouTube video, and, that's my go-to video. I use that every time someone's in my challenge group and I'm talking about the Shakeology discount coach, and I think they're a great coach. That's the video I send them.
Yeah, the first time I watched that video on your Facebook wall, I was like, "Wow, you got some cojones, buddy. You got some." That was pretty. That was pretty gutsy, and I liked it. I watched it a couple times, and the second, third time I watched it, I was like, "Wow, that was genius."
Yeah,
I think you did one too, though, that you explained what your 21-day fix group was.
I think that's the one.
That's the one.
I don't think you mentioned coaching. You just mentioned what your objective for the 21-day fix was.
No, you did. He did mention coaching, how like that would be the natural progression.
Right at the end, I think I talk about.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's
really
yeah. But it was like, wow, that thing was genius.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I use. It's like, like you said, it's 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It just says like, I think it starts out by saying something like, people see me posting on Facebook. They don't really know what I do.
Yes.
What I do is I try to get 5 people a month, and I try to help them in a 21-day challenge. And I kind of just, walk through. And then I say, like, towards the end, it doesn't end with me just helping them and then it's done at 21 days. Like, I want to help them get to the point where they're ready to pay it forward and help others. And I love being a part of that kind of a ripple effect. Something like that.
It's really good.
Yeah. But that's one thing I do at the beginning of my challenge groups in the prep week is, I let them know that I'll do it again. It's on a group text, and I do a voice text, and I say, the goal of this thing is not to have a great 21-day before and after photo. The goal of this thing is not to be perfect for 21 days. And that's also like, if people give me an objection, like, I can't do it this one because I can't do it this upcoming challenge because I'm too busy this month. I won't be able to like be perfect. I say, like, that's not what these 21-day challenges are designed for. So in the prep week, that's what I'm saying. They are not designed for that. You are not supposed to be perfect for 21 days. You are not trying to get 21-day before and after photos. This thing is designed to help you create some good habits and break some bad ones so that at the end of the 21 days, you've created a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. Sustainable, healthy, long-term lifestyle. That's the goal. You are never going to be perfect your entire life. It's just not how it works. So don't try to be perfect during these 21 days. I'll tell them in the voice text, like, I'm a 90-10 kind of guy. I give 90% of the time I do my workouts. 90% of the time I eat pretty clean. 10% of the time I'm all over the place. I eat whatever I want. 10% of the days I miss my workouts. I give myself that 10% to slip up. Give yourself that 10% to slip up, and don't beat yourself up over it. It's going to help you stay on track a lot longer, long term, because that's the real goal. That's part of, what I'm trying to get my challengers to understand. And then, what's cool about that is, like, I get people that really love the idea of, this isn't just about giving people a cool 21-day before and after. This is about helping people create healthy, long-term, sustainable lifestyles. More people want to get on board with coaching because they want to be a part of something that's giving people a sustainable, healthy lifestyle, not like just giving people cool 21-day before and after photos, So we talk about that. And I keep reminding them of that in my little voice texts each week. in the group.
When you say voice text, are you doing a voice text within like instant messenger or phone texting?
I do text. Like I get their cell phones. I put them all in one group text. I mean, you could do a Facebook message too. It's the same.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think of doing that, but that's probably, they're just that personal touch. It's not just texting.
Yeah.
Words.
You can do the voice one on Facebook too, can't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you can do it up to a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because it shuts you off. That's good.
Yeah. I think it's good for them to like hear your voice,
Yeah.
You're like a real person, not just a robot typing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in the challenge group, I got little videos, little tips, and I'll give you that spreadsheet that has all the videos, but, little 1 minute nutrition tips I've made. One of them's like the scale lies. The scale's not how you like really measure your progress, because, I kind of go into talking about like your body's doing something for the first time and it's going to need to retain more water to help in recovering the muscles. So the scale doesn't tell the whole story. That's why it's important to take your measurement, like little tips like that. So they get to see, you as a person giving them advice, not just you typing words. I think that's important.
Yeah.
Can you add me to your next 21-day group?
I know, really. Jeez.
This is awesome. Like, seriously, we've been running 21-day groups forever. And, like, this is key. Like, this is so awesome, Patrick. I mean, this is the stuff we need to be. I mean, I'll throw videos in here and there, but not like this. You're awesome. Thank you.
When I say I post this stuff in my groups, I mean my assistant posts them in the groups.
Oh, good to know.
Like at this point, like I created, that little Google spreadsheet that has everything that he needs to post in the group each day, and he posted in the group each day. And then I go in there and I read everybody's comments and kind of interact and like the stuff, but I don't have to be posting the daily. So one of the things I post is a daily photo. It says, Monday, what was your workout today? And everyone comments with their workout. And this is like, actually this is the best part of the whole challenge group. This is like the secret weapon, right? So every day, when I say I mean I post a photo that has everyone's name and a number next to their name that represents if they commented on the daily photo the day before. So like, let's say it started, today's Monday. So tomorrow, right? Today's Monday. Yeah. So tomorrow, Tuesday, when everyone wakes up, there'll be a photo with everyone's name and hopefully a 1 next to their name, because today would be day 1. And then on Wednesday morning, hopefully everyone has a 2 next to their name, all the way to 21. It's amazing how much more interactive, how much more people post when there is a number next to their name. It's crazy. Just that little thing. Like it gets them, and I do another voice text like before, the Sunday before, and I'll say, hey guys, just want to let you know, I'm going to post in the group tomorrow. It's going to be a photo that says Monday, what was your workout today? And once you comment on it with your workout, then the next day on Tuesday, I'm going to make a recognition photo with everyone's name with the people that commented with their workout. And then on like Monday night, if there's someone that hasn't, or I'll just shoot them a text and say, hey, just want to shoot you a reminder to comment with your workout, because I'm going to post a recognition photo tomorrow and I don't want you to get left off. And then once they do it on Monday and Tuesday, 2 days in a row, then I don't have to remind them, and they don't want to be the person's name on the list with a bad number. They want to be up at the top with everyone else with their 21s, except for the guys. The guys never stick with it, but that's really helpful. That little.
So Patrick, you run co-ed groups?
Yeah. Yep.
See, I just run a female group. I don't even bother inviting guys to it.
Yeah, I actually, it's like my buddies will do 21-day challenges, but like 80% of them, they don't have Facebook. So I'll just do it on a group text with them. And so I do that. But if it's just like people I've met through social media and things like that, I'll throw, a guy in a group, 2 guys in a group with some of the girls, and still seems to work okay.
Cool.
Yeah. As long as I can get the guys to interact. And my whole thing with like guys that want to become coaches that don't want to do challenge groups, like I'm like, dude, this is like think about when we used to play, football together in high school. Like we used to work out together. We used to it was part of being on the team was working out together. And that helped us stay on track. It helped us stay accountable. That's what a challenge group is. It's you just being a part of a team again, all pushing each other and supporting each other, and they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense, dude. All right, I'll do it. But you got to get the guys on board with that. And then they're like, all right, then they enjoy it and they like it. But, the other thing I do in my challenge groups, I don't know if you guys do Darren Daily. If you don't, I highly recommend it. Go to darrendaily.com. Darren Hardy, he wrote The Compound Effect. He sends out every day, every Monday through Friday, a little 2-minute kind of a mindset video, success kind of thing. It's great. I get it texted to me every day, or you can get it emailed. I watch it every day. And I post that in that video in my 21-day challenges every day. And I ask people to comment with their top takeaway. And that's part of the recognition photo. So there's the first column is the number that represents how many days they've commented with their workout. The second column is how many days they commented with their top takeaway from Darren Daily. So now my challengers are getting nutrition, fitness, support, and personal development. And they're starting to get in the mindset of that compound effect kind of mindset, those little tiny things every day. I think that helps them start to believe more in the fact that they could possibly become a coach too. It's darrendaily.com. That's really good.
Wow. Good stuff, Patrick.
Okay, I just got to point something out that Ed was listening to you and he said he doesn't even know what day of the week is anymore. He doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't. It's like people are like, hey, I'm excited it's Friday. I'm like, really? Every day is Friday to me. The only reason I like weekends anymore is because everyone else doesn't have to work.
And I'm going to get an assistant when I make 6 figures too.
Yeah. I got my assistant on elance.com.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. elance.com. It's a really good website.
Cool.
It makes it easy. You just post on there what you want help with. And then people will send you why they think they'd be a good fit. You can read, you probably get 20 of them, read through them, pick 5, do 5 Zoom calls, and then pick who you think is going to be great.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. The first, I think I've had, this is my second assistant. So, it's just like anything else. It's like trying to find a great coach. You probably have to go, sign up a couple coaches before you find the one that really sticks. It's just kind of how it works. But once you find one, man, it's nice. He's doing the things that anybody could do, which frees me up to do the things that I really want to do. Spending more time with my coaches and spending more time inviting and connecting with people on social media and things like that.
Cool.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Vika.
Hi. So what you said that when you had for your 21-day fix challenge, you put a name and then a 1 or 2 or 3 like that next to the people's names. Do you ever let's say you have someone who doesn't do it all the time or who's not very consistent or who just doesn't post? Do you ever get anyone who get angry with you, you're trying to make them look bad or something? Or
Not yet.
not yet?
I hope not.
That's good. And my second question is, so do you ever add anyone who isn't doing your challenge at all to your group?
Yeah, I've had all sorts of people do it. I've had people that were doing CrossFit that were drinking Shakeology and wanted to use the 21-day fixed containers. I had someone, that they loved CrossFit, but I was like, I think you'd really like this container thing and the Shakeology. And they were like, all right, I'll do that. And they kept with their CrossFit and they loved it. They're still drinking Shakeology. They're still using the containers, still doing CrossFit. I've had people that we're just wanted the 21-day fix program, no Shakeology, and that's fine too. And a lot of them have ended up getting Shakeology once they've got in there and saw the other people really talking about it. That's part of what I do in the challenge group in the prep week is share recipes that I think people would like. And I let them know that, I didn't really love the taste of Shakeology the first time I tried it until I found the recipe. Now I love it. So they kind of know that maybe they won't love it the first time, or they don't get freaked out if they don't like it the first time they try to make it. I've had people in the group. I don't think I've had anyone in there that wasn't doing anything. I've had coaches get in there just to kind of watch, see what's going on. But yeah, I guess I kind of let anybody and everyone, and to a certain extent. I want the majority of the people in there to be on a challenge pack, doing both the program and Shakeology. I think it's important that at least the majority of people are doing both.
Okay.
It kind of sets the tone for everyone else.
By the way, I think you're great.
Oh, thank you. You guys are pretty great too.
Thanks.
Anybody else have any other questions before we wrap up?
I have a question.
Go ahead, Lori.
All right. Hey, Patrick.
Hey.
I haven't seen you in years, since Super Saturday, I think, in 2012. But,
Yeah.
my question is, now that I'm really getting going and running groups, I have a lot of repeat people. So with your challenge groups, are you changing the posts every challenge? Because I have good posts and I keep posting them, but I don't want people to get sick of the same posts all the time. Do you just use the same posts over and over, or do you change them up for every group?
The Darren Daily changes because Darren Hardy sends out a new video every day, every Monday through Friday at least, which is good. But it's the same. It's the same. Monday, what was your workout? That's always the same. The videos are probably going to be the same. Like every day, it's either a video of me or of Autumn or of Darren O'Lean. Those are probably going to be the same. It's pretty much the same except the Darren Daily, I would think. But it's different people, and I think that it's the other people in the group that make the experience different each time someone does a 21-day challenge. I'm sure they're starting to catch on. but
Right.
A lot of times, I guess I don't do a great job of inviting the people that have already done it to. I'm always like, hey, if you want to do another one, let's get in, and they'll do a second one maybe. But most of them, I'm trying to get them to become coaches or discount coaches. A lot of times I'll have 5 people that are going through this journey together, and 4 will become coaches. And then I start a Coach Basics with just those 4, and they go through the coaching, learning the whole coaching basics together and learning that journey too, which is really cool. But the ones that don't want to become coaches, I have them in my free, I have a free general health and fitness group that's just ongoing all the time. And they kind of go in there, and then I might once in a while reach back out to them and say, hey, do you want to do another 21-day challenge or something like that? If they were someone that was really, interactive in the group. If someone wasn't posting at all, I probably wouldn't invite them to do another one because they didn't, or maybe I would, I don't know. We'll see. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in.
So do you just run a 21-day in a general health and that's it for challenge groups?
Yeah, the general thing, that's an ongoing group. That's forever. And then the 21-day challenges, I do one a month. I was doing them every 3 weeks, and one would start and one would end, one would start, one would end. And then I was I don't know if I like that. So I started kind of doing one every 4 weeks, because the prep week is in there too. And right now around the holidays, I'm kind of messing with it a little bit, just to try to figure out how, because I want to do a hammer chisel challenge group.
Okay.
But yeah, those are my 2 21-day challenges, at least once a month, and then the general group.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? We're at an hour in, so we should really wrap things up. I see people yawning and tired, but it's always nice to hear from somebody new. So take advantage of it.
Free 5-day challenges. I do those once a month too.
What is it?
A 5-day, a free 5-day plank challenge, or a free 5-day clean eating or a free 5-day core challenge, some little 5-day thing.
Yeah.
And usually I'll just, instead of a group, I just do it in a Facebook event.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, we've been doing like the water challenge and
Yeah, that's a good one too.
yeah.
Do you run sneak peeks?
Oh man, no. But but I don't do one like myself, but I kind of do my own sneak peeks like in a private message, like the first
Oh,
video.
really?
Yeah. Like my first video I send them, and I kind of do it like if they respond, then I send them the next one instead of them having to wait, one video a day for 5 days, how most people do it. I kind of have the video. I send them the first video, the one we talked about, and then I say, let me know what your top 3 takeaways are from this video. And then once they get back to me with their top 3, I'll send them another one. Kind of do a one-on-one sneak peek. But my sisters do the sneak peeks, and they love it. They're doing really well with them. So
Yeah, we're gonna start a 3-day one on Friday.
yeah, those sneak peeks are definitely huge.
Yeah.
And we are following up. I just booked it today. Your sister Amy is doing a call for us November 30th. So
Nice.
you guys will experience another Riehlman family member. So she's
You get to see the dog too.
yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's like, we do things a little bit differently. I know she posts. I don't post a ton about the coaching opportunity on social media. I think I probably should do that more often. I post more about like the fitness side and the challenges. But she's like, she posts about the business opportunity. She gets a lot of coaches that jump right into coaching. And so we do things a little differently, but just depends. Like they both work. So it'll be good to hear her too.
Yeah, because she doesn't talk to people. She's all on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like her and I on 2 different levels when we were talking at leadership. I'm like, you don't talk to people when you go out and she goes, no, I would never talk to somebody about the coaching opportunity. I'm like, what? I said, you are hiding behind the walls. Come on now. But she does everything through Instagram, and I'm clueless. I don't use Instagram, but she's successful. We're successful. So you have to find your niche. And it doesn't mean just because someone else is doing it one way, you have to do it. You have to do it this way and this way and this way. You've got to pick what works for you. So I think it's great hearing how other people are successful. So
yeah,
thank you.
I think the only way you can mess up this business, the only way you can mess it up really is if you just stop trying, is if you get off the escalator. It's the only way you mess it up.
Awesome. I think we should finish with that. So everybody get on the escalator. It's time. All right, Patrick, thank you so much. It was awesome. And I'll be in touch to get those documents from you if we can. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send the link over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Cool.
Thanks, Pat.
All right.
Good to see you.
All right. Thanks for having me. See you guys.
You.